Hi guys. Right, we have here is an Atlas S-2 locomotive made in Austria that does not run forward or reverse, but the headlight does come on. It does have a DCC board in it, and what we're doing here is removing the cab and the body, and the body comes off by pushing on the tab in the very front with a screwdriver, being very careful not to tweak it too much because you'll snap it off. And the front body comes up and you lift it out, and that's all to it. Now, the cab is a little bit more difficult. The cab has two catches on both sides, and normally it's fairly easy to remove. First, you take the grab irons off on the side and the front of the cab. Then you take the two grab irons out on the back of the cab. Here I'm using my tweezers to do that. And then while I was trying to get the cab off the first time, I knocked the blasted horn off, which you see laying on the bench there. And eventually I have to resort to a small screwdriver to get underneath the edge of the cab to pry it out just a little bit, and it will snap loose shortly. I tried both sides and then had to go back to the other side because I knew that that was the side that it was supposed to come off with. So finally I was able to snap it loose, and here all you do is pull straight up and the cab comes right off. Now I was just checking where a wire connects to the edge of the PCB, and it would seem to be okay. And you'll notice on the top there's a plastic screw head showing. Uh, and I installed this DCC board in this locomotive about 2 years ago, and hadn't had any trouble with it till recently when it stopped moving. And I put it aside until I had a chance to take a look at it, and then I decided, well, I'll try making a little video to show you guys how to take the body off and check this thing out. So I've got my meter, and I'm checking continuity on this. So I have my meter now, and I'm checking the continuity on the PCB. I checked between the track and the right side and the track and the left side on both ends, because this picks up from both trucks. And I was getting continuity where I should have. And I came to the conclusion that if the PCB board was good, then I probably had a short between the motor and the frame. Now, I painted this frame and the locomotive many years ago. And when I installed the board, I didn't isolate the motor from the frame because it did not show a short at that time. But through usage, probably vibration and that sort of thing, the motor finally did come in contact, rubbed away the paint, and came in contact with the frame and shorted it out. I was saying before, there is a plastic screw that was in the board on the top, and this is where I made my mistake when I installed this. One of the mistakes is that the plastic screw actually goes on the bottom of the locomotive to hold the motor to the frame, and a metal screw goes into the top of the PCB. Now, to get the motor free, you have to take that plastic screw out, which of course should have been metal, and remove the upper frame, and the you can just tilt over the PCB so you can get at the motor, and it's just sitting there. I mean, after you've taken the screws out, there's nothing holding it in there. The one on the bottom, the one on the top, and then the only other thing you have is the universal joints that go into the ends there where you have the flywheels. So it's very easy to remove the motor from this locomotive. You don't have to unsolder any wires or anything, which really makes it great. So with the motor out of the locomotive, what you do is you have to put a piece of tape on the bottom of the locomotive. Here I'm pointing out where the bottom screw is. It's not there. You see it pretty good, the hole. And there I'm pointing close to where the hole is. The truck is in the way a little bit. But when you get the motor out, you just simply put a piece of electrical tape or the Kapton tape over that area, which I'm pointing out there. And then you cut a little hole where the screw goes in at that point so that you don't have any interference there. And you trim the edges of the tape so that the whole assembly will fit back down into the frame. So once I've done that and carefully reinstalled the motor, getting the universal joints back into the flywheels, then I installed the upper frame and the PCB. And at first, you're going to see me reuse the plastic screw in the PCB, which I'll end up going back and replacing. You'll see later on. And the frame goes back together very, very easily. Again, you screw in the screw on the top, and that puts the PCB, the frame, and the motor connected together. Then you put the plastic screw in the bottom, and that holds the whole thing together. The motor, the frame, the PCB, and it's only one screw holding the actual upper assembly to the lower assembly. Now I'm pointing out that plastic screw, and I was talking to myself there about, I don't think that's what really goes there. So I ended up having another DCC NCE kit board for another similar locomotive, and I'm going to take the plastic screw out of that bag to put in the bottom. And it's very simple to install DCC in older Atlas locomotives. There's only 4 wires that I had to solder, and if I wanted the headlight, I ended up soldering the headlight on. It comes with a headlight on the PCB, but you can actually add the second light for the back if you so desire. Not much room there for that, though. That's a pretty small cab, and there's a lot of stuff in it. And once it's running, those things run so good. I'm really surprised how well they did. I purchased these locomotives well over 20 years ago, and I really never had any thought of doing DCC, but then I caught the bug, and of course then I first went with rail links. Then I decided, well, I wanted to go with the sound and all that stuff, so then I went with NCE. And here I'm showing you where that screw goes in. Here's a better look at it. You can see the screw head there. And the locomotive, again, is made in Austria. Very nice quality. Couldn't ask for anything better than this. It's just really a nice runner. So you can also see in the top there, I did replace the plastic screw with a metal one. Evidently that does ground the frame to the PCB through an electronic circuit. There, I'm pointing it out again. And as far as putting the cab back together, it goes back together fairly easy. The cab itself just simply pushes on and snaps into place. You just have to be careful not to catch the grab irons underneath the back edge of it as you're doing that, which is what I did when I was reassembling it. But seeing as how they're made out of Delron or something like that, it doesn't hurt them. And after I saw what it was, I just used the tweezers to pop it out, and we're good to go. Just snap the cab back on. I had also already repaired the horn on the cab. And to put the body back on, you simply put it down in the back first, and then push it in, and then you push gently down on the front until it latches. And it's all good to go again. The locomotive worked just fine. Forward, reverse, headlight, and I was very pleased with the repair. And that was that. So, if you're thinking of purchasing any Atlas locomotives, I recommend, if you can get a hold of the older ones, like the ones that were made by Roco, and this particular one was made in Austria, they are such sweet runners. And as far as putting a DCC board in them, very easy, very easy. And they work just wonderful. So there you have it. All done and ready to go. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye now.